Hey, I'm Angie, and this is New Path Tarot. And today we're going to do a pick a card reading where you're going to select from 3 different numbers to choose the pile that speaks to you most today. So, the topic for today is going to be along the lines of the next 3 months, and particularly focusing on where to set your sights, where from a spirit perspective the universe sees you heading or where you should be heading, things like that. So I'm not sure exactly what will come up, but that's like my intention at the beginning that I'm focusing on for the reading. So your 3 numbers to select from are 33, 11, and 86. Okay, so close your eyes, take a deep breath. 33, 11, 86. Okay, so the 3 pile timestamps are in the description box and in the comments section. Go ahead and select your pile. If you're 2 or 3, if you're 1, we'll get started now. We're using the Light Seers Tarot today for these readings. And pile 1, okay, let's begin with you. Okay, so your first card is the World, Lovers reversed, 5 of Cups, 7 of Wands, 7 of Cups, Ace of Pentacles. Okay, so I'm going to talk about each card. The World coming up tells me you have completed or will be completing. I'm not sure if this is starting off talking about now and we're going into 3 months is what I feel like. So right about now is when you're completing a cycle. And then I'm going to skip ahead to the very last card that I have out, which is the Ace of Pentacles. So by the time 3 months is here, from whenever you're watching this, this will be the start of the new cycle. So it seems to me like you're going to have a bit of a pause or a break in between these 2 time frames. Now, the second card is Lovers reversed. So that tells me that you shouldn't be making any big decisions right now. You shouldn't be making any large choices right now that will affect your future outcome for the next 3 months. And you shouldn't be focused on relationships right now. So if you are currently focused on your significant other relationship, then take a step back and focus more on your goals at this time in your spiritual development. Okay, next card, 5 of Cups. Take this time to do the inner work. Take this time to do any healing from your past. Sometimes you think you healed it enough, but if it's still affecting you, this is how you check. Let's say you had a difficult childhood. If you can recall a certain experience from it or an interaction like with words or an action, anything like that, when you recall it, how it feels will indicate to you if there's still more healing to be done. So if it brings up sadness or anger or any kind of negative response. Now, if you have a neutral response to it, that means you've done the healing. So what does it mean to say do the healing for this past stuff? It is different for each person, but set the intention that you are wanting to set these next up to 3 months for working on healing, and then just see whatever evolves over that time. And it might be related to healing past relationship stuff as well, because you don't want to bring an old relationship into a new one. So let's say you have just recently gotten out of a relationship or you're working on that right now. Take the time to be single and work on yourself before jumping into something else. If you want to get out of a relationship and just hurry up and jump into something else, that's usually indicating that you might have codependency issues to work on. So unless it's for a reason like you have somebody in mind already, it's like sometimes people will leave a relationship because they meet somebody and they have a connection with them and it helps them realize they were on the wrong path and all that sort of thing. That's different. But if it's like you don't have anybody in mind and you're literally just like trying to fill the void, that's not a healthy sign of where you're at with relationships. Okay. All right. So self-love being the care, the self-care being the theme here. And that's exactly what this is demonstrating, is somebody who is going inward. She's meditating, she's focusing on her energy body. If you notice, she's got this inner light radiating from her. So she's working on her own healing, and then she's then getting on the path to working on healing others. This might be a career change for you that Spirit would say to you, this might be something that you should be setting your sights on, because it's very uncommon for people to develop their spiritual gifts and to develop their healing abilities and to not do something with it other than just developing it for personal interest and curiosity. There's a point when you go, maybe I'm supposed to be doing something with this to help the world be a better place. That's the kind of theme here. All right. Seven of Cups tells me I read this differently depending, but in this case, I feel like the sky is the limit. In the traditional Seven of Cups, the cups are actually up in the sky, and then there's this shadowy figure, because it's like a silhouette. You're not really supposed to focus on the person. You're seeing the Seven of Cups, and they all have these different things in them. And in this case, I'm getting the visual of the cups being in the sky, and you having all these choices. So it's like, where do I want to take this? Where do I want to go? And then you're going to pick one and then go forward with it. So as you can see, the progression of the next 3 months, have your intention be that you're using this time to do whatever inner work is needed to be done. Maybe sign up for a course of healing or a course of spiritual skill development, and then plan that that's going to be where you're heading in the future. And maybe you're not going to start the course for the next 3 months, but you're going to be starting something in the next 3 months. So just take the time to dedicate to the period of that in-between phase. Okay, your supplemental cards are Four of Swords and the Emperor reversed. Okay, so the Four of Swords further demonstrates to me the incubation. The Four of Swords is usually a card of rest and taking the time to reflect and meditate anyway. So that's the overall theme. This card is just backing it up. And then, by the way, also secondary message is don't get in your thoughts. Like when you have intruding thoughts, especially if they're of a lower vibration, push the thoughts out of the way purposely. That's like the intention of meditation, right? The traditional meditation is having an empty mind. Now, what happens is the monkey mind comes in, and while you're meditating, you start having thoughts. So it's continually pushing them away, coming back to center. And that is, you might be benefited by doing traditional meditation when you get this card. At least 5 minutes a day is what I always say. Shoot for 5 minutes a day. Okay, Emperor reversed. I'm going to hold it upright. So this card in this reading is just showing, again, it's not a time to be taking actions that are going to be long-term affecting your life. It's literally a time to be in incubation, waiting for the right moment. Because time, especially like time prediction, is, I'm just kind of estimating 3 months. If you do feel a push to take action before, you'll know it, you'll feel it. But don't be surprised if don't be like, nothing is coming to me. I don't feel like I'm doing anything. I don't know what I'm supposed to be doing. That's like the theme right now for you. So don't try to push yourself when you don't have the inspiration. Wait till it hits and then be ready to go for it. This is the time to focus on your mundane things, going through clutter and downsizing and taking care of logistic things in your life and, all that kind of boring stuff. Because when the inspiration does hit and the forward movement does come, you're going to want to not have to be dealing with everything at once. Okay? All right, that's it for you guys, pile one. I'm going to move on to pile two. Have a great day. If you want more of a detailed reading that's personal to you, go ahead and order one through me on my website. Otherwise, I'll see you later. Okay, pile two, how are you? We are going to start your reading. Okay. Good. Okay, so starting now up to the next 3 months, we have Ace of Wands in the reverse position. Okay, then we have the Ace of Cups. So this might be talking about a relationship when we have the Ace of Cups. And if so, this might be a new relationship or renewed. Like, could be an old person, but it feels new. They've changed, you've changed, things like that. But if it is talking about a new person and you're single and you're wanting a new relationship, I wouldn't be surprised if in the next 3 months you'll actually meet that person. And because it's in the beginning of the reading, I would say it's going to be sooner rather than later. Though, you might have to end something first. Kind of similar to pile one. They started out with the World card, which is the ending of a cycle. Yours is different because you're actually going to have to take action to make this happen. Because right now it's showing in the reverse position. It's kind of like what I always say, you got to get the old couch out before you can put the new couch in. So this is the old couch, this is the new couch. Ace of Wands could be also talking about like a job that you're not happy with or just a way of life. And then this being like this new excited energy of the new thing that you're going to do. So ending a job, starting a job, that kind of thing. It's not going to be anything major because these are minor arcana cards, but because it's not like the Death card or like I said with the World card, but it is going to affect your daily life. It's just not going to be like life changing. And same as this. This is like inner stuff. Like the whole world might not realize this big change in your life, but you're definitely going to feel different about things. Okay, Tower reversed. So again, big change, but in the reverse position, it's like you see it coming, or it's not going to surprise you or shock you. Like it's like I wouldn't be surprised kind of thing when it's reversed. Let me hold it up right so I could see it a little better. So think about this. What it's demonstrating here is a tree being struck by lightning and all the wildlife being scattered. This is like your life is going along as normal, and then out of nowhere something comes. And the Tower being that it's a major card, it does disrupt your life, and even outwardly other people would be aware of it. It affects you on a bigger level. And the fact that whenever the Tower card comes out in a reading, sometimes especially upright, when it's upright, I even go, okay, I try to get some context, I try to figure out what it's about. Sometimes it's literally like spirit doesn't let you have a heads up of what it is. They're just telling you. Like there's this tarot meme that I've seen that's funny. It's like me pulling tarot cards. Tarot cards say something big is going to happen, and you're like, okay, what? And then it's like something big, and you're like, okay, can you tell me what it is? And they're like, be ready. That's the Tower card when they don't give you supplemental information. But that means when it does happen, you're like, oh, that's what the Tower card was about. Okay. And when it's reversed, you're like, I had a feeling. You probably have some intuition about what it might be. But this is something that means because it's in the middle, somewhere around the midpoint between when you're watching this and 3 months from now, something is going to change in your life. That's going to be drastic. And though it might not be something so drastic that, and keep in mind the Tower card isn't necessarily a bad thing, by the way. even though it looks scary. But especially when it's reversed, it could be indicating a positive thing that changes your life for the better. And I would even go on a limb and say that is the case when you have it right next to the Ace of Cups. The Ace of Cups is going to brighten up whatever it is. But somewhere around the midpoint of the 3-month mark, you're gonna look back and go, that's what that was about. Okay, in hindsight. Okay, now you have the Page of Cups in the reversed position. So the page can represent a younger person. It can indicate a way of being too. It depends. When pigs fly is the thing about this card. If you notice at the top of the card, being reversed, I'm going to come back to it. Okay, then you have the Page of Pentacles in the upright. So 2 pages right next to each other, one reversed, one upright, tells me that it's going to be shifting from reversed to upright energy. Let's go to the book and see what the book says about. I love when I just, like, I was at the 10 of Cups and I'm like, oh, there's Page of Cups right next to it. Okay. I like to use other people's descriptions sometimes to get out of my own meanings. Okay. Reverse Page of Cups, missing the signs, being overly sensitive, displaying childish emotions, blocked creativity. So I was going to actually say there's an immature energy to this. So now let's go to Page of Pentacles. Now keep in mind, these might be talking about other people in your life, not necessarily you, but here's the Page of Pentacles. Manifesting new opportunities, beginnings, good news, ambitions, skills and training, financial opportunities, new career paths, new connections, exploration stage, a beginner, earth magic, making plans a reality. So that's where you're going to be at the 3-month mark. Maybe this tower had to happen or else this wouldn't have happened. Maybe this is a warning to say when this happens, don't be like this about it. You know, the Page of Cups reversed. But if you are, keep in mind to shift into the Page of Pentacles. And also, like self-check yourself if you're noticing that you're meeting the characteristic of the reversed, and then shift into the positive of the other. And also keep in mind that you can learn, or not even learn, you can take a bad situation and look at it positively. So that's what this is suggesting you do. If there is anything negative to this, it brings up anything negative in you, deal with it from a more mature perspective and take the high road in any situations that involve other people, because the pages could indicate, like I said earlier, other people in your life, not just you. And let's say, for example, I'm going to give you like a little scenario. Let's say you get out of a relationship for a new relationship, which then causes in your life a tower, but you're the one doing it, so you're expecting it, or it's not as big of a deal to you, but let's say the other person reacts to you in an immature way. Going back, let's say it happens to you, but you knew it was for the best. And so maybe even though you know it's for the best, you're dealing with it in a reversed way. Regardless of all that, Page of Pentacles tells you that you got to see the bigger picture here. You got to see why it happened, higher purpose, and all those other kind of things. Okay? Like it feels like a karmic relationship or a karmic situation needs to come to an end, and maybe you're not comfortable doing it yourself, so the universe is going to do it for you with that tower reversed. Okay, your supplemental card is the Four of Cups. So the Four of Cups person can indicate to me somebody who is not seeing the positive, because they're focused on the empty over here. They're not focused on the divine cup. And this is somebody who's like apathetic, bored, could be depression, could, you know, there's a lot of things that it could be on the negative spiral of things. So just keeping mindful that through it all, you're going to want to address anything like that that's coming up. Take care of yourself if you're noticing, like when this tower happens, do whatever you got to do to make sure that you are dealing with it. Maybe like therapy would be a good idea when this comes up. Don't be so stubborn to like either bury it down or to like, I'm gonna man up about this, or you know, whatever. It's like, no, acknowledge this is a big change in your life, good or bad, and it's okay to feel like this. Four of Cups, it's okay, give yourself permission to, but don't stay there, don't dwell in that, move forward, because you have this Ace of Cups. Okay, now I'm going to give you another situation or example. Okay, I see this in readings sometimes. So somebody will be married for like many, many years. Everything is normal in their life. And then they end up meeting somebody, and then they leave their marriage, and then this person ends up not panning out, especially if this person is also in a marriage. It's like they leave but the other person doesn't, which then they're like tower, you know, kind of situation in their life. And the thing is if you're going to leave anyway, you might as well. So it's not really to look at like leaving for another person. It's like leaving for yourself, and even sometimes leaving for the benefit of the person you're with, because if you know that it's not a compatible relationship, and especially if it's toxic, then you're leaving them so that they can find somebody that's better suited for them. Sometimes that backfires. Like, you think, oh, well, if I leave them and they go and find somebody else, and then they find somebody else, and that person like makes your life a living hell because either, I don't know, they're jealous or they just have issues or whatever. Because here's the thing, usually people find a partner that is on their vibration level at that time. And so if you're leaving somebody because they're like, say you've done the self-growth, you've been working on yourself, and then you're realizing you're not compatible with the other person, and then their toxicity starts kicking in, and then you're like, okay, this is turning destructive, I need to get out of the situation. And so you get out of the situation, they're now finding somebody else, and the person they find is on the same wavelength as them, and now you have like the nemesis against you, like combining forces. And then you're like, oh my god, this made it even worse. And so, you know, that's a potential situation. And then the tower could be like, they're making your life a living hell, you know, this is them finding their new love kind of thing, you know. And so then you're dealing with this kind of situation, you're dealing with this kind of person, and then you're being the bigger person. This is the contrast. This is them, this is you. And or let's say you have this person who has chosen not to be with you, has left you, and so maybe they're acting like this, and you see the potential of this, but this is what they're demonstrating regardless of that being there. So then you're sitting here going, okay, I'm just going to have to wait for this to pan out, I guess, or whatever. And you might have done all the self-work. You might feel like you're just kind of like sitting here and the time is ticking by, but what are you going to do, you know? So you're just like, okay, whatever. Apathy, right? Okay, so there's some examples I gave you. You know, your situation, you know what it is that you have actively going on in your life, whether I went on a relationship kind of tangent, but like I said, it could be career, it could be really anything. But if you have any questions or you'd like a personal reading about your specific situation, you could order on my website. Otherwise, I'll see you another time. Okay, pile 3, how are you? We're doing the next 3 months. Okay. I'm trying to decide which ones I want to take. Okay. You get an extra card because they wanted to be together. And then here's this. Cool. Okay, Four of Pentacles is coming up first. Queen of Swords. King of Pentacles reversed. Six of Pentacles. Queen of Pentacles reversed. 10 of Pentacles. Now, these two are the ones that wanted to come out together. The Queen of Pentacles and the 10 of Pentacles, both reversed. You might think I don't have my deck shuffled very well, but I do. Four of Pentacles, King of Pentacles, Queen of Pentacles, Six of Pentacles, 10 of Pentacles. Holy crap, right? So, your situation is potentially very financial based and or spiritual based, things like that. We'll get into it a little bit more, but just as an overall, this is a kind of spread of cards that makes me go, wow, with all these pentacles. Okay, so starting out, if you're this Four of Pentacles, usually the energy is holding on to what you have for dear life. Let's talk about this in the context of if you are maybe struggling right now financially, or that's a main focus for you and you want to be doing better by 3 months' time, the thing that I would encourage you to do is to address any kind of mindset lacking that you have, any negative beliefs regarding money. So there's statements that sometimes people say, such as if you want to earn a living, you got to work hard, or just like, you can think of all the like sayings or beliefs that maybe your parents instilled in you or society has, or all these kind of things that might be part of your belief system. And so you might not have the idea of money coming to me easily, or I can have passive income, or things like that. Like this, so this is a time to evaluate your money beliefs and then put into action steps to rectify that. Now let's say like one of the services I offer is called Manifesting Blueprint, and that talks about getting you on track for your own personal way of manifesting. Like everybody has their own kind of literal blueprint of how they manifest best. And so one size doesn't fit all. Like some people, words of affirmation works for them, and other people it doesn't. That's why The Secret, if you remember when that came out in like 2007 or so, it was like this big thing. And that's because for the people who came up with it and the people that I guess gravitated to it at the beginning, it worked for them. And so it caught on like wildfire. But then there's like people like me who I did some of the things in the, the techniques, and I'm thinking, well, maybe I'm not doing them strongly enough, or maybe I'm not doing all of them, so that's why it's not working, and things like that. And I wasn't addressing what beliefs I had because I didn't even know that was a thing. And so notice she's kind of detached from the city. She's off on her own. And so she's kind of looking back at, what the city might have instilled in her, but then she's on her own, kind of figuring out her own way. And she might be literally leaving behind the city and going off and starting a new thing. So if you're interested in figuring out your own personal blueprint, get a hold of me and we can talk about that service. But otherwise, I would be using the next 3 months to do a lot of introspection regarding your beliefs about money. And I would be doing some research as well and trying out some things. And give it to 3 month mark, and then make sure you're looking back when you get to that point 3 months from when you're watching this, and take inventory of how things might have progressed for you, and give, it's always good to check in, and not, because you might not even notice 3 months goes by, things improve, and you didn't realize that that was your doing, or that you're the one who made that happen. You're just kind of like going along with it and not really giving it any thought. Okay. All right. Queen of Swords. She's, like I said before, she's very introspective. She's very forward thinking. She's making plans. She's a visionary. And notice when I say she, I'm describing her, but it doesn't matter what gender you are, but the words that I'm using are what are describing the situation, or describing how the energy that you're going to be in or are in. So this is somebody who's making plans for not just the next 3 months, but she's got the goal of like way out, like 10 years, 15 years, 20 years. She's even looking beyond her own personal life. After she dies, she's thinking the future of the earth. So especially if you're somebody who has the ability or has ideas of changing things on a big scale, this is talking about, acknowledging that, and then how to go about it. Because I'm really being drawn to the flags, and the flags, to me, the top one, if you're wondering, the symbol on it is the air sign, because swords are air. But the flags to me represent the whole world, because it just feels like that energy to me. And I may or may not have talked about this on my videos before, but you may or may not have seen that pile anyway, since if I did talk about it, it would have been in one of the piles that it came up in. And so if this is the case, like the parallel to what I had a dream about was like this futuristic utopian way of the world operating. And I'm a dreamer personally, so I feel like it's attainable and possible, but it's nowhere near what we're doing right now. So the old would definitely have to crumble. And I do feel like she's sitting here after the world has crumbled. It's like, it feels cold, and swords cards indicate winter, so it feels to me like future. The world has crumbled. She is the leader of the new ways, and she's setting those plans now in thought, not necessarily action, although if you have inspired action, do take it. Now, the very last thing I want to note to you is, if you notice on the bottom here, there's a cup behind bars. Because the Queen of Swords can be a cold disposition, can be very detached, aloof, unemotional. So I do feel like that's not necessarily a negative thing. Like, let's say it was reversed. I might think, well, this might be the negative attributes of the Queen of Swords, but I'm going to say it's a positive. Like, she's not being emotional. She's being rational. She's being logical. So the decisions that she's making, like, she's not getting attached to outcome. It's not even personal to her. It's like, this is what she came here to do. She's going to get it done, and it's not for her. So she's thinking bigger here. And it literally feels like she's driven to do this. She couldn't just be a normal kind of way. She has to do this. Okay. King of Pentacles following. Here's the problem. I'm going to give you a few different scenarios. Let's say this is another person in your life. Let's say this is your partner. Okay. There's a few things coming up. I'm going to try to remember them all, because like everything came at me at once, and I'm like, can we put this in order, please? First thing coming up is, let's say this is a partner. They might have the mentality lack. So let's say you're a couple, or it doesn't necessarily even need to be a partner, but somebody who has direct influence of your finances, or your mentality about your finances, like you're listening to their opinion and it's impacting you. Unless you're freely thinking for yourself, this person might be influencing you and maybe even in a negative way. And their beliefs are leaking onto you, and you're going to have to sit here and be like, that's your thing, not mine. If that works for you, okay, but I have bigger goals here. So, and they might be somebody who might talk you down from your goals, or they don't see it your way, or they're like, oh, the funding isn't here. That could be another option. It's like, I have all these ideas, but I don't have the money. I need a philanthropist or I need an investor. Um, Obviously, this is talking about if so many people that I've been doing readings for want to do a some type of community or retreat center or those kind of things for spiritually minded people and lifestyle. And I mean, I feel like I need to take a list of everybody's names and get the ball rolling, because everybody has the idea of it, but we just don't, we have the vision, but we don't have the way forward. Okay, so going back to the whole relationship idea, let's say this is you and your partner. You might have opposing views. You might be evolving and they might not be part of it. You might be having these ideas, they might be like fine with where they're at and not evolving. So it feels like you're doing this alone. The Queen of Swords is very independent. I think, yeah, the Queen and King of Swords are actually not married. So the Pentacle suit, the Wand suit, the Cup suit can be people who are, and by the way, when I say marriage, it doesn't necessarily mean legally. It could be just like long-term relationship, living together, shared finances, things like that, children together. But she's a single person, and so that means not necessarily in this context that he's a married person to somebody else, but just the idea that they're not very compatible energies, these two. So you might have some issue with somebody else influencing you. And the other option I get with the two of these is this might be two sides of you. So you're like sometimes like this, sometimes like this. So you're like this. I have all these plans. It's going to be so great. I want to do this. I'm inspired. Let's make this happen. And then you get in you go back to your old patterns of the mindset lack, and you're like, yeah, but I can't, and the money's not there, and how would I even do this? And okay, Six of Pentacles, though, check this out. The card of giving and receiving, the card of charity. So you might need in the next 3 months to start doing some research, start reaching out to people of how to get those funds. Some people are like, I have this idea, but I don't have the money, therefore they don't do anything. Get a business plan together and pitch this to people. Like, you need to get people on board. You need to get support. Build a social media platform for your idea. Get interest, get people involved. That way the universe can work wonders for you. Think about it like this. I have people who want to be in a relationship, but they're not putting themselves in situations to meet people. And although dating sites are annoying and mostly crap, it's like you have to at least put yourself out there to be found if you're wanting a relationship. And otherwise you're just like, okay, you're going to be at the grocery store, you meet this person, blah blah blah. If you're watching this in current time, COVID has kind of thrown a wrench in everything as far as people who are already single and then they're wanting to be in a relationship. But the universe still can work miracles for you if you're open to it and putting yourself in situations for that to happen. Well, same goes for anything. And so putting yourself out there, letting your idea be known, and not just keeping it in and hoarding it to yourself. One of my pet peeves is when somebody has an idea for an invention and they're like, oh, I don't want to tell anybody because then they might do my idea and make it big. And I'm like, Okay, so you're just going to keep it to yourself? That's annoying. Let somebody else make it if you weren't planning on it. Oh, so they're going to get rich on your idea. Whoopity do. At least we have the invention out there. And if, why don't you do it? That would be great passive income for you once that is out. You have an idea, do it. And so you have all these logistic things to figure out in order to make this happen. Okay, Queen of Pentacles reversed. Now we're talking about the married couple here, the partnership. So I say partnership because that's kind of the energy I feel is, yes, it can be a relationship for sure, but because it's money related, all these Pentacles cards. And so then these two are reversed. They're actually facing each other. If they were upright, they would be looking away from each other. So it's funny to me that they're on the same page. And I'm not really sure exactly. I want to see what the next card is to see about what the Queen of Pentacles can mean in and of itself. Okay, 10 of Pentacles is an amazing card. You always want to see it in the upright. In the reversed, though, I feel it's a reflection of the fact that this woman is showing up reversed. I think it's like, you're going to have to fix this. You're going to have to address this. And the order that they came out, she's facing away from it. It's almost like she doesn't believe it can happen. Or she has this idea, but she's not doing the work, pen to paper, figuring it out to make it happen. If you really want this community or whatever it is, then you have to make it happen. You want to be facing it upright, not looking away from it reversed. Okay. So here's the thing. Those are the last cards in your order of the main part of your reading. And so if we're talking the next 3 months, this is why I like the tarot, because it tells you how things look at this time. If you don't like what you hear, feel free to do the extra work to ensure that that doesn't happen, to ensure that you're turning these upright. And I recently heard from another reader what she likes to do is when she has a reading, after she does the reading, she takes all the reversed cards that are negative and intentionally turns them upright in order to kind of manifest or set the intention of and put in forward motion the idea of the forward positive energy. Like, I have changed this from negative to positive, and it's just the forward movement of that. Because you got all these Pentacle cards, I'll tell you, like, I don't remember when it was now. I want to say May of last year, maybe. I did a reading for myself, and I did a Celtic Cross, which has the 10th card is the outcome. And my outcome was the 5 of Pentacles, which is like one of the worst cards you can get for money reasons. And it's like it's showing homeless people. I'm like, oh my God, I do not like that. And guess what my question is, will I be okay financially if I do this thing? And so that's like a warning to me. I was like, oh my God, okay, I should not do the thing. And then I was like, okay. And then what you do with your outcome card is you take that and make that your main card, and you do another Celtic Cross. And the purpose behind it is then, how do I change this outcome? What do I do? And so when I changed my outcome, it indicated to me that I should make a different choice. And then things evolved after that. And so when I said, how will my financial situation look a year from now if I do this thing, and it came up with that was me going, like, it was like my boost, like my internal drive, like, oh my God, I can't let that happen. Okay, so your supplemental card is the Star. Very positive. This is telling you, have faith in the universe, have faith in yourself, pray, wish on a star, those kind of things. Believe in miracles is the theme here. Okay, let's read what the star says from the book. I opened right to it. I've been doing this so freaking much and it's almost a little weird. Okay, look. I expect miracles. Expect, not believe, but can accept that they're going to happen. Expect it. And that's what I meant. Accept it and expect it. All right. Expectations fulfilled, wishes granted, opportunities, healing after traumatic events, knowing you are on the right path, not believing, not thinking, not hoping, but knowing. Knowing is the strongest energy. Inspiration, renewed hope. That's a pretty good wrap-up card, wouldn't you agree? Okay, that's it for you guys, pile 3. If you want a personal reading to dig in a little more, or I think, the manifesting thing would be good for you guys in your group if you're interested in that. I have that on my website as well. It's a very, very detailed service that I offer. It is a 2-hour thing. I do this and then we talk about it. So it's a one-on-one thing, phone or video, after I do your analysis of your personal blueprint for manifestation. And it would be advisable that you guys base it on money, because you can base it on money, relationship, and health. So maybe health. Pentacles can be health too. But money / spirituality / health. And if you do order that service, the thing is you want to set an intention for what specifically you want to manifest in the next 6 months, or sooner. The sooner the better. But given a practical goal of what you can attain in 6 months, if you were given the right tools to manifest that thing. And therefore, when we go over it, we are breaking it down, and then I'm giving you an action plan of how to go about doing this to make it happen. And keep in mind, manifestation, there's 2 parts of it. The main part, though, I will say, is you have to take action. Not usually will things just come to you like, hey, would you like this yacht? And you're like, hell yeah, I'd love that yacht, thank you. That would be like optimal manifestation. Could it happen? Sure, but is it likely? Probably not. So the thing is getting to the point where you're able to make those choices, but how do you manifest that part is what we break down. All right, that's it for you guys today. Hope you have a great day, and see you on the next reading. Goodbye.